it fits right in here, and I still have to screw it in, but is that not the most beautiful color match? Hello there, and welcome to my channel. I have my coffee in hand, and I am ready for another DIY project. I would love to do this outside, especially since it involves some staining and cutting, drilling, but it's raining and it's been very inconsistent outside lately, so inside we are. The goal of today is to turn an old antique cabinet into something that will more easily hold jewelry. Now, this is not for me, it's for my mom. And if I could tell you anything about my mother, she is the kind of person that if it's a birthday or Mother's Day, we ask her what she wants, and she says, all I want to do is spend some time with my daughters. And she doesn't ask for anything, but would give everything to you if she could. And to me, it's the people like that that deserve the most in this life. So this is something she has been wanting for a long time. She really needs one too. Her jewelry kind of just sits around on furniture or in a bowl, and she needs a place to put it. And she's been searching for it. She wants something truly old that she can use, something good quality, good wood. And also she loves like different colored paints and chipping paint. It doesn't need to have always been used for jewelry. She just wants like something that you could put jewelry into. But I've been searching so hard, and I couldn't find anything in time for Mother's Day. But I was at the antique store the other day, and I found, and I'll show you, but this cabinet that was in the 40s. I can't remember exactly how much it was, but it was in the 40s. And when you open it up, it's got a long side on the right, which is rare. Most of the time when you open up a cabinet, it's got clear kind of straight across shelves. This one had the long shelf, which would be so perfect to hang necklaces from. So I did end up taking this piece home, and I just love it so much. Everything from the little speckles on the mirror to the layered paint with this butter yellow color. I really love just the way it looks now. You could probably restore this to its natural wood finish, but I just love the way it looks so aged and how it matches, but it kind of doesn't at the same time. The inside is where I drew up some plans. So this right compartment here is the place I want to add a more permanent jewelry solution. So I envision, and I hope this makes sense, but if you take almost like building a giant spool, but the middle will rotate. If you take two circles with a hole cut in the middle, you add a dowel, and you add some pegs to that dowel, that would work, right? So I collected all of my materials for this project. I found these on Amazon, but they just didn't have the hole, so I got a little hole dozer, and then I went over to the dowels. Now, I went, my voice is cracking, but I went with the 3/4 inch dowel here in oak, simply because I thought it would stain more beautifully. I found these pegs right here, also on Amazon, and I really only got this size because I was working with kind of a 4-inch by 4-inch space, and I wanted to make sure it could rotate fully. I also picked up some of those hanger bolts and some stain. I love staining. I think that it's fun to be able to match and see if you can replicate an original stain, but I laid out everything that I found and a few extra things that I found that I could add on to the shelves on the left. So I just wanted everything to look consistent, like it had always belonged. So I mixed up everything, and I went ahead and started staining. just stained beautifully, beautifully. Wow. So if you need to know anything about me, it's that I am pretty optimistic, sometimes to a fault, maybe even a little delusional, but I think that I can try anything and it'll all be okay. And most of the time, that is true. I've never used a bulldozer before, and I was a little nervous because these circles need to perfectly align if the dowel is going to sit right and spin right in between. But I used a piece of parchment to mark the middle. Probably not the most accurate, but in the method I'm about to show you, the second dot doesn't really matter on one because I'm trying to drill straight through to the other one. I do recommend this. I thought it was really smart. I just wouldn't do this inside your home. If you can avoid doing it on your island, that's probably the better option. That's pretty stable. And the idea is that these are on top of each other perfectly. And I've got one circle right here, and that I want to actually go into this one and start it. That way I can get one fully through and I don't have to worry about going into my counter. So I can go through it the whole way, and I'll start the second one. And from there, I'll put a new block under this one, and then I can do the same thing. So I hope that makes sense, but this is the best way I could think about doing it without like ruining it at all. So I might add a third because I don't trust myself. I think I'm going to add, it's kind of steep and it's a lot to keep in place, but I'm terrified of going into our island, and there's probably a better, safer way to do this, but I'm terrified a little bit. Let's do this. Oh, I think I'm okay. I just want to make sure I'm as straight as possible. And I'm making a mess, but it's working. That's perfect. Oh, this is working. I am so happy. That's so wonderful. Okay, don't be scared. And look, I did it. I know I sound very proud, but I really didn't know if I would be able to do this on my own. And the fact that I did makes me really happy. But the beauty of this is that the next one's already started for me. And even if I was not perfect with marking the center, they will at least be centered with each other. So I should have no problems with the dowel spinning. But now I only have one more of these left to do. Nope, 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 nope. I don't know why this one needs to spin more. Maybe it's because I don't have three, but it definitely wants to move, and I need it to not move. Also, I just don't have the strongest hands for this kind of thing. I think that that is pretty good. And you can see like this one got drilled into a little bit, but that's fine. Yes, this is perfect. And I'll sand down the corners, and then we can actually stain these now. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, so these are tiny. They're 1 3/8 inch tall, and I believe it's a 3/8 inch width at the bottom here. And I have these hanger bolts example here. I've got two different kind of
well, they're the same thickness. They're about 1/4 of an inch thick, but they're 2 different heights. I hope you can see those. So I need to find a way to get this into here, and this is new, and I'm kind of seeing how it goes. But yes, I need to find a way to get that at the end. So I'm going to try and drill it in and see what happens. Yeah, I'm definitely at an angle. Look at that. Okay, it's a little bit. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go a little bigger because there's no way that I can get that in the end of it. No way. Okay, so the only size up I have is this one. I don't know if that's too big, but we're gonna try it. It says it's an 1/8 inch, so that might actually work. Might not be my smartest idea, but it's not my worst either. Let's try it. Only bad thing is if I don't get it exactly center. Okay. All right. Not the worst.
The tricky part here is making sure that I do not drill too far into this. They do sell some tools that can help you make sure you stop at the right spot, but I'm just taking a smaller drill bit here, holding about how far I did measure in, and then I'll compare it to the bolt to make sure it's good.
So because I wanted this hole technically smaller than the actual hanger bolt so that I didn't have to use glue or anything, you really have to force this in. And that's really hard to do, and it honestly really hurts my hand. So let me show you how I was able to get this in here without it being terrible. It still is not, I think, probably the best, and there is probably a better way, but it worked for me. So my thought process here is if I put one of these bolts into my drill, not to actually work my drill, but just to hold this in place, and I tighten it, and you tighten it until you kind of feel it click, and so it just clicked. It's definitely tight in there. And then you take the peg that has the hole in it. See, like, it'll fit if you really kind of push hard, but if you're trying to hold onto this and the bolt itself, it is so difficult, and I just don't have enough pressure. And so it is much easier to kind of screw this on here. It still kind of hurts my hand. So even though it doesn't look the best, I took some paper towel, which has been my kind of my best friend today, and I wrapped it so that I could just get a better grip on it. And again, we're not like starting the drill or doing anything like that, but from there, I'm able to kind of maneuver it, which is wonderful. Yeah, I just want to get a better grip on it, and then I can screw it in. It's a slow process, but it's the only thing I could think to do, and I would guarantee that this bolt is not going to leave this wood peg. Let me see. And just like that, I have my screw. So that hurt my hands a little bit, but they are in there, and I think it turned out so good. So now I just need to stain these, and then we can attach them to our big pole that I kind of have right there.
Good morning. It is now the next day and we do not have rain today. So I'm gonna finish up this project outside. I got all of the staining and sealing and everything done yesterday. So I really just have to assemble it all. And then my mom comes tomorrow for vacation. So I think it'll be done in time. Yay!
All right, so I have a plan on how I can make this even more functional for my mom. I got both of these pieces off Amazon, and I have a plan for the shelf side where I will attach these two things together and it will make almost like a drawer situation. So she can pull the top out, and because they're attached, this part will be like a little drawer where she can hide some of her other jewelry and things that maybe she doesn't want seen. But because this will be the front of the shelf, she can just hang up earrings, or she can hang up rings that she has. And so I think that sounds good. I would have loved to be able to take this black piece out. It would make drilling these things together so much easier, but it is very glued in. I need to touch up the sides with maybe some black paint or something to make it look better. It did stain beautifully, but when I added the sealer, it made it really patchy, unfortunately. The good thing is this part won't be seen because it'll be the bottom of the shelf, and the other sides look pretty decent. So to get these two pieces together, I wanted to make sure that I covered up this logo. I cannot stand when there's a big logo. If it's teeny tiny, that's fine, but I wanted to make sure that when I attach these two pieces, the logo was covered. I just drilled in some holes. I'm trying to pre-drill everything that I can. That way I can avoid splitting any of this wood if possible. But once I did that, I used those holes that I made and I took a little eyelet. I believe that's what it's called, like a little eyelet screw. And I dinged through that hole I made onto the next piece of wood. That way I can ensure that I have a few really great, already perfectly aligned holes, because I can't put a drill in here. I can't fit a little mini drill inside of that shelf, and I have to come in through the shelf. I can't do the outside because I can't pull that black velvet stuff up. And so got to do it all through the inside of the shelf. So I can't fit a drill, cannot fit a screwdriver. So what I ended up doing was actually taking a small drill bit, and I put the screws inside and I slowly went through. Wasn't perfect, still felt a little awkward, but this worked just fine to get these two things together. And at the end of it, it is so stable and it looks good. So I don't think these two things will be coming apart anytime soon.
So now I just need to touch up the sides here where you can see the old wood. And again, this will be the bottom. I know it's patchy, but like that's all you can see of the top. And then the sides look pretty good.
No one can tell me that this is not the most perfect fit. It is so clean. And so she'll still have tons of room to be able to grab what she needs. I could put it down here, but as you can see, it kind of fits almost too perfectly and she wouldn't be able to grab it.
Next step is cutting this dowel down to size. So I need to measure the inside of this. I'm okay if it's not perfect because remember it's gonna sit in between the two circles with the hole cut out.
Almost 19 exactly, but I might do 18 and 7/8, maybe even 18 and 3/4.
Let's do 18 and 3/4. I think that's the best measurement. It definitely won't be too short.
Now, if you are working on a project, I definitely recommend getting one of those assistant tools for cutting wood like this. They sell something you can lay the wood in so that you can get a really nice straight cut. I did not get a nice straight cut here. I don't even think I got the exact measurement that I was hoping for, but that was the beauty of this project, is it didn't need to be perfect. And I really just wanted to use the tools that I already had, but it worked out.
That color match is pretty spot on. But see, it doesn't matter if it's perfectly fitting because it'll be kept in place by the circles at the ends. I know it's kind of dark, but I basically created a giant spool that will be able to spin in the middle and hold all of my mom's jewelry. And I will go in and pre-drill some holes so that I can actually put in my little wooden dowels. I plan on putting kind of a few at different lengths for long necklaces. So I might use a bigger bit, but I'm gonna test it on this bit of wood that I've got over here just to see what ends up working, because I would hate to drill into the real thing and it not work. That might work. Okay, I think that might be deep enough. Let's test it. I always like to take a smaller drill bit and see how far it goes down, and then I can pull it up. That is definitely long enough. Okay, and now I can kind of force it into the hole. Like so. It's not perfect because it's round, but that is pretty good.
As for getting these other pegs in, I don't have an official method. I do think that the second one I did was a lot better. If you're doing this, make sure to try and get it as close to the center of that dowel as you can. If you're doing it a little bit at an angle, it makes it where it doesn't sit flush because it's a flat peg going up against a curved dowel. You might not have that problem if you're going with an even bigger dowel. I could only do a 3/4 inch just because of that small space that I'm working in. I believe it's 4 inches by 4 inches at the base. So I wanted to make sure it spins, but look at this. It's like a little tree with branches. I love it so much. And up until this point, I had had nothing really go wrong, but right now, I don't know whether it was the material or that the cabinet was so hard, but getting these two things attached was so much more difficult than I could have predicted.
So I ran into a little bit of a problem. I'm gonna try and fix it, but if I can't, I accept it. It's really weird. That screw went on fine. That screw went on fine. That one stripped almost immediately. That one stripped in almost immediately. So I have fiddled with it for a long time and it's not working for me. So it's this brand. I don't know if it's the brand. It's weird because those two that went in with the same drill bit, same everything, worked perfectly fine. Those two immediately stripped. So I think we're just gonna call it handmade. All right, so I'm almost done, but I have a few more things to add to this to make it more functional for my mom. So one of those is this right here that you can hang bracelets on, and it fits perfectly on this top shelf right here, like so perfectly. And then I have the ring / earring holder kind of drawer situation that I made for my mom. It will also go right here. And then the last thing that I have to add in
is this little glass kind of canister slash drawer, and then I also have a little glass thing because you always have like little odd ends, like maybe extra earring backings or something that she could use for this, and it will go right here. Now this is a full, complete, usable jewelry cabinet, something that every single shelf has a purpose. Just to stage it all a little bit, I'm going to add in some of my own things and own jewelry so that you can get the full picture of what it would look like. Alright everyone, and that is going to be the end of my video today. I have enjoyed working on this project so much. It was honestly a lot of fun. There was a moment or two where I was a little saddened, especially with those screws. I do not understand what happened there, but overall this is something I would definitely do again, and I encourage you, if you find a cabinet or an old piece like that, to maybe give it some new life. But thank you so much for joining me for this video today. Please feel free to like and subscribe. I am new to YouTube and this journey, but I'd love to have you just join me along the way as I figure out some things, probably make a lot of mistakes, but really just have some fun and improve my home. But I'm gonna go ahead and hop off now. Thank you all so much again.